Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the 3 steps that will help you save you the most money and reach your financial and saving goals in the short term and in the long term. Now, I actually started filming this video last night, but after rewatching the footage, I realized that the lighting was actually not very good. So hopefully this time it's a little bit better. I am filming in the morning, so the lighting is looking pretty good since I have light coming through the windows. Anyways guys, so you're going to learn the 3 steps that I took when I first came out of college, when I got my first job, and how I saved over 50% of my net income. Now you might think, 50% Dan, that is crazy. How am I going to save that much money every single month of my income? I got bills to pay, I got kids to feed, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm not here to tell you that you have to save 50%, but I know that we all could use some financial help and saving help. So here are some tips that can help you reach your goal and hopefully help you save a little more money than you are right now. Financial experts actually tell us that you should be saving about 20% of your income. Now, some of you guys might think that 20% is not enough, but given that the average American right now only saves about 5% of their net income every month, 20% is actually a very attainable and achievable goal, and it should be a good starting point. Alright guys, before we get started on this video, I just want to say that if you're enjoying this content and if you want to see more videos like this, then please give this video a thumbs up. It will really help out the channel and it will really help spread and share this video to people who really need this financial and saving advice. Alright guys, so let's just jump right into it. This is the first step, and it is to create a financial goal for yourself. Now this could be a short-term or long-term goal, and it could vary quite a bit from person to person. But the important thing is to set a realistic goal for yourself and what do you hope to achieve in the future. Now for some people, this might be saving enough money where you could take your family out on a vacation once per year, or maybe you just want to take your family out for a nice dinner once per month. Other goals may be to become a millionaire by the age of 30 or 40 or 50, or you might want to become financially free, which is a topic that we'll talk about and discuss in later videos. Maybe you want to retire at a specific age. All these goals will require you to be smart with your money and save and invest a large chunk and live below your means. Once you figure out what your financial goals are, you'll have to calculate how much you have to save every month and every year in order to attain that goal. So that brings us to step number 2, which will require you to write down all of your expenses in the past month. And this might require you to go back to your bank statements and your credit card statements, even your Venmo balance. So definitely leave no stone unturned. In this case, you want to find out exactly how much money you're spending every single month and where it's all going to. Now it's important that when you're going through your expenses that you categorize them into categories that make sense to you and are the most common in your monthly expenses. This can range from things like food, including groceries and dining out, entertainment, which can be your, going to the movies or video games, concerts, events. This can be your clothing expenses, transportation, and you can have a category for miscellaneous as well. After that, you'll figure out your net income, which is the income you're bringing home every month and every year after taxes. Then you'll subtract all of your expenses from your net income, and there you'll get how much money you have left over, which should be going into your savings. From here, once you calculated how much you're saving every month, you'll have to figure out the difference between what you're currently saving and how much you want to be saving. Now, let's say for example, you want to purchase a house in 1 year from now, and that house will cost you $250,000. Now, if you want to put 20% down, which is pretty normal, then you'll have to come up with $50,000, not including all the closing costs you have to pay as well. Let's say you have $30,000 saved up right now, and in 1 year, you will need to save that $50,000 for the down payment on your house. You're saving at $1,000 a month currently, so by the end of the year, you'll have $42,000 saved total. Therefore, you'll need an additional $8,000 to reach your $50,000 saving goal. You might be saying to yourself, maybe I can just go out there and make $8,000. Well, that may be easier said than done, and a lot of you guys that are watching, that might not be feasible for many of you. Maybe you guys are already working 2 jobs or are pretty busy taking care of the kids at night. Once you figured out how much more money you need to be saving in order to reach your saving goals that you outlined in step number 1, you'll have to go back into all your expenses and all your categories and just figure out where can I scale back? Where am I spending most of my money on? Where is it really that I'm spending too much money on? And it's, I have to make it a point to spend less next month and every month after that. Now, one of the most common categories people can start cutting back on is with food. A lot of people prefer dining out and know that it's more expensive, but it's more convenient for them, and they just don't like cooking. So they decide to dine out, order Uber Eats, and once you start doing that every day, it'll add up to hundreds and even thousands of dollars every month. If that's you, then maybe that's one of the first places you can start cutting back on. Other areas where you can help scale back on is maybe check out, all your subscriptions and see what you're not using anymore. It's easy to, sign up for all these annual subscriptions. Maybe you have Spotify or Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime, and everything like that. And just see which ones you don't really use as much. Maybe you can, cut back on it and just cancel some subscriptions, and that could save you up to $100 every month. Alright guys, so what I just explained might be a little confusing for just listening, so I put together this little spreadsheet here to hopefully it'll give you a better picture of what I'm talking about. And over here on the top left corner, I have outlined my income for 2017, and back then I was making about $63,000. So I just wanted to outline what I meant by net income. Most of you might already know what this means, but I'm just going over it for any of those who might not know. And that's basically the money that will be taken out due to taxes. You have your federal tax, Social Security, Medicare, and state tax. And that's going to be dependent on how much you're making. Your tax bracket, I believe I was in the 22% tax bracket. So if you add these up, it'll be about 22%. And over here, you'll see that, net income is about $48,000 after taxes, which meant that I was taking home about $4,000 a month. Now that $4,000 is not actually what I took home, because there were also a couple of pre-tax deductions, and essentially those are things that you pay with or as a percentage before taxes. So for example, my 401k was 5% of my gross income, which is $63,000, which is $262, and my employer actually matched that, so they gave me an extra $262 on top of that, but you won't see that here in my gross or my net income. Medical, I was paying about $130 a month, dental about $17, and then I was putting about $250 of my pre-tax income into this commuter benefit, which basically allows you to pay your commuting fees with pre-tax money. And then over here, as I was explaining before, you have to calculate all of your expenses that you spend in a month. And here I did exactly that, which was print out my credit card statement back in 2017, in September of 2017. So I kind of had to think back and see what I spent back then, and hopefully this scale will give you a pretty clear idea of what I'm talking about. So in 2017, in September 2017, what did I spend my money on? This is my only credit card back then, so I'm pretty confident that this is where most of my money went. But as you can see here, back then, I brought lunch to work every single day, which is why you'll see only about 2 or 3 charges for lunch. Putting my food around $85 for the month. Entertainment, pretty standard stuff. Went out for happy hour a couple times, about $100, a little over that. Now transportation, you'll see some gas for whenever I had to drive back home. These $42, I basically put money into my commuter card, a monthly subway card. And it's pretty standard here. I know this car wash, I had to actually wash my work car, and I got reimbursed for that at work, so I took that out. And all in all, I spent about $500 here on my credit card, and just to be safe, I said that, hey, I probably spent about $100 on Venmo and on my cash transactions. So as you can see here, I took the net income and my take-home pay. I subtracted out the $500 and then the $100 of Venmo and cash, and then every month I paid about $1,000 to my student debt as well. So in the end, you'll see that the remainder, about $1,700, which is what I put into my savings and to my investment account as well. So earlier I said that I saved about 50% of my income. Just wanted to prove that it is possible as long as you keep your spending, know what you're spending it on, and try to save whatever possible. So I also want to recap real quick. Step number 1 is to set your financial goal. Figure out how much you want to save and how much you need to save to reach that goal every month and every year. Once you do that, figure out how much you're saving right now, which will require you to calculate how much you're bringing home, which is your income, and then subtracting out your expenses. Number 3 is categorizing all your expenses, figuring out which areas you're spending the most money on and where you need to scale back the most. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you learned some things about saving and how to reach your financial goals in the short term and the long term. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're not already. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.